Hi, this is your Rigadoon tutorial for violin and viola. And we're going to start out by talking about the notes that we're going to be using on Rigadoon. They're right here. Here's the viola notes, and here's the violin notes. As you can see, I'm moving the cursor on the screen. You'll notice these D string notes in the first measure are D, E, F sharp, and G. Now I'm demonstrating on a violin, so if you're a viola, it's going to be on this string here. So just remember, I'm demonstrating on a violin, so I'm one string over for the viola. D string notes sound like this. D, E, F sharp, G. Play those with me. 1, 2, ready, go. D, E, F sharp, G. The next measure has the A string notes in it. You have to be careful about the A string notes because the finger pattern changes. You're usually playing D, E, F sharp, and G. Your second finger moves low. So you have A, B, C natural, and D. Sounds like this. A, first finger B, low 2 on C natural, and D. So you have to have that sound. If you're playing C sharp, see that finger pattern? That's not going to work. It has to be a low 2. Okay? So those are your D string and A string notes for the Rigadoon melody. Those are the only notes that the melody uses. So we're going to go on to part 1, which is the first line. And I'm going to move this video down lower because we're doing violin and viola on this. Give me 1 second. Okay, cool. So we're going to look at the first part of the melody line, which is right here in this black box. You'll see the first notes are very simple. It goes G, G, F sharp, E, D. And that D is held for 3 counts, and your bow ends up at the tip. So again, 3 fingers down on the note G, 2 of those, G, G. Then you have an F sharp, E, D. And it's important for 3 counts. That puts us right here at this next D. Since we end up at the tip, you have to get ready for a long up bow. And it has to be kind of quick, and it can't be heavy. You don't want it to go. So starting on this D, it goes D, E, E, F sharp, D. And then you've got a third finger for a half note. G, D. And that's the whole first 4 measures. So if I point with my cursor, you've got G, G, F sharp, E, D for 3 counts. So that's 1, 2, 3. Beat 4, you have another D. First finger E, E, F sharp, D. Third finger G, and then open D. So I'm going to put on my metronome at about 112, and I'm going to play this for you so you can practice it. 1, 2, ready, go. Freeze. Okay, so that was the first 4 measures. The next 4 measures are exactly the same except for this last note. You'll notice this last note is held for 3 counts, and then there's a rest. And there's a word in your there's a word here saying bow lift. So we have to do a bow circle and set our bow down for the next line. You'll also see fine or fine is written above this last note. That's because when we come back at the very end, this first line is the same as the last line. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this because we don't need to really practice it again. It's all the same. There's nothing new. So I'm going to put on my metronome. 1, 2, ready, and. Hold 4, 3 bow circle. And you want to get ready with first finger on the A string because our next note is going to be a B. So now what we're going to do is we're going to play this whole first line together. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. circle. Now we're ready for line 2. So I'm going to pause the metronome. There's a couple things that you need to be ready for line 2. The first thing is that you have to understand the bowing for line 2. Even though we're using these 2 eighth notes, so here's the first measure of line 2. You'll see it's 2 eighth notes, and it sounds like this: 1 and 2, 3 and 4. The notes are B, low 2 C, third finger D. Remember, if you are on a viola, it's the next string over. So B, C, D, B, C, D. Now the bowing, even though they're even eighth notes at the beginning, you're going to use this big bow and then 2 small bows. So the B is going to be a big bow and then 2 small bows. And then you're going to bring your big bow all the way back to the frog and 2 small bows. So it sounds like this. Okay, big, small, small, big, small, small. Let's practice that with a metronome. 1, 2, ready, and. Okay, so that is the very first measure of line 2. Let's see if I can get, I have to click it. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to move this back down here so we can see the music. So here's that big, small, small, big, small, small. That's the first measure. So we just went over that. Let's look at measure 2. Measure 2 has low 2 on C, first finger B, open A, and then open D. Remember, if you're viola, it's going to be over on the next string, on the A string. Okay, so those notes are C, B, A, and D. If your C doesn't sound right, check that you're making sure that it's a low 2. It should be touching the first finger. If you're playing it like a high 2, a C, it will not sound right. So again, C, B, A, D. Okay. Then you have, sorry, there we go. Then you have G, A, B for 3 counts. So the next note is going to be third finger G on the D string, open A, and then B for 3 counts. 1, 2, 3, and then there's a bow circle. So let's play those first 4 measures together. 1, 2, ready, go. Bow circle. Now, let's look at the second 4 measures in this line. It's B, C, D, B, C, D, C, B, A, D. Exactly the same as the first 2 measures. So the only thing different is these last 3 notes, which are E, F sharp, G for 3 counts, and then there's another bow circle. So let's just try that. E, F sharp, G. Ready, set, go. E, F sharp, G, 2, 3, bow circle. So I'm going to play this whole second line from the melody. We're going to start on the B, C, D, B, C, D. Remember, on these accented notes, we want to use a little more bow. These arrows facing down are reminding you of the notes that have a low 2 on it. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Bow lift. Okay. All right. So now we're on the last thing that we need to learn for this, because this is the melody, the third line, but part 1 and 4 are the same. So this is the last line we need to know. You'll see at the end of the line, at the end of this line, it says D, C, all fine. That's where we go back to the beginning. This first 4 measures is probably the trickiest 4 measures in the whole piece, because people tend to play the rhythm wrong. So I'm going to clap and count the rhythm for the very first 2 measures. So it's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So clap with me for that. This is the first 2 measures, just the rhythm. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you'll notice the dynamic says piano. and there's a low 2, and there is an accent. So even though you're in the accent, you're going to play it piano. 1 and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The notes are A, B, C, C, B, A, G. Okay, so play that with me with a metronome. Just those 2 measures. A, B, C, C, B, A, G. 1, 2, ready, go. Good. Now, these next 2 measures are what gets a little tricky, because after you play this A, B, C, C, and this B, A, G, notice where your bow is. We need to turn back to the A string, and you're going to start up bow, and it's A, B, C, B, A. And remember, that starts up bow because you're towards the tip or middle of the bow. A, B, C, B, A. This is measure 3. Ready, go. A, B, C, B, A. Then you have 2 half notes, a first finger B and a high D3. So the first 4 measures sound like this. I'm going to play it slow. A, B, C, C, B, A, G. A, B, C, B, A, B, D. Now I'm going to turn on the metronome and let's play along with it. This is the first 4 measures of the melody 3rd line. 1, 2, ready, go. A, B, C, C, B, A, G. A, B, C, B, A, B, D. And that takes us to these last 4 measures right here. Here's that A, B, C, C again, just like we just played, A, B, C, C. There's the B, A, G, except for this time, it's not a half note. It goes back to, it goes B, A, G. After that G, it's not a half note. It goes up to first finger B. So this measure right here, 3 from the end, is B, A, G, B. B, A, G, B. Okay? And then the last 3 measures are your E, F sharp, G, 4, 3, and there's going to be a bow circle. Let me go back to the very beginning. So let's put this whole line together. Actually, before we do that, let's do the last 4 measures together. So these, this is starting on this second A, B, C, C right here. So we're going to start there. 1, 2, ready, go. A, B, C, C, B, A, G, B, E, F sharp, G, 2, 3, bow circle, and it would be back to the beginning of the piece. So now we're going to do the entire melody, 3rd line with the metronome. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Bow circle. Then we're back to the beginning. Okay, so that takes us through the entire piece step by step. Now, here is all 3 lines on 1 page. And I'm going to play the whole thing. This time I'm going to try and put the camera just on my fingers so you can see the fingers up close. Okay. Actually, let me just fix that a little bit. And you can follow along in your part. Okay. Here we go. This is the entire Rigadoon. I'm going to put on the metronome. 1, 2, ready, go. since that's the last time, I pause, I keep my bow on the string, and then I go into rest position. So there's your video tutorial for Rigadoon for the violin and viola. That took you through each section. So I hope you can go through and learn each section. And I will see you in class. Have a great day.